أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أحمد الله رب العالمين وأصلي وأسلم على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين سيد الأولين وسيد الآخرين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
وعليكم السلام.
How's everybody doing? Alhamdulillah. So we'll continue inshallah Surt Albqara, and last week we were at verse number 40, ayah number 40. Just to start with, we didn't finish last week. In ayah or verse number 40, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يا بني إسرائيل اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم وأوفوا بعهدي أوف بعهدكم وإياي فارهبون وآمنوا in ayah number 41 وآمنوا بما أنزلت مصدقا لما معكم ولا تكونوا أول كافر به ولا تشتروا بآياتي ثمنا قليلا وإياي فاتقون. So in ayah number 40, Allah started to talk about kind of a new topic. If you remember till ayah number 39, we were talking about our father Adam alayhi salam and the story of his creation and what happened to him. So what we need to understand and know before we get into the tafsir and explanations of the verses after that is, the connection basically between the story of Adam and now Allah is starting to talk to Bani Israel, the children of Israel. Amen. So the relationship or the connection is the following. So Adam alayhi salam, his story was mentioned to remind us about the amana, the trust that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala assigned to him from day one, which is to be the Khalifa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this universe and to carry the religion of Allah, the trust and the amana of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to fulfill this task all the way to the day of judgment. Right? Here is Adam's story and what we need to remember. And now here is Banu Israel, the children of Israel, who did not take care of this amana at some point. They were in charge at some point. They were also trusted with this amana. They were asked to do what their father was supposed to do, Adam. So the story of Adam came to remind us, to introduce us to what Allah is going to tell those people, the children of Israel, Banu Israel. And those people were existing at that time in the Medina, right? And they had issues with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the new religion and the new society in Medina. Right? So this is the kind of a connection and relationship between the story of Adam followed by, Banu Israel and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling them now. Ya Bani Israel, اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم. And we'll take some time to finish, a part of the story of Banu Israel in the Quran. But it's mentioned many times in the Quran. The story of Banu Israel. So, at some point, they failed to carry the amana, the trust given to their father Adam. So now there is a new community in the Medina, the Muslim community in the Medina, right? A new society in Medina, and they are there. So two things. They are reminded about what they didn't do, and the new community, the Muslim community in Medina, they are also reminded that they are here to be in charge and to take care of what others couldn't take care of. And also, of course, other things that we can say, the Quran also was teaching the new community, the Muslim community and the new society of Muslims in Medina to be careful, because now they are in charge, they're going to take over, so please do not do what others have done before you. So, because there was like all the debate and struggle and sometimes fights and problems between the two communities in Medina. Right? So now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying to them, Ya Bani Israel, O children of Israel. And we mentioned that last year, that Israel, or Israel in this ayah, is our Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam. And this is by the hadith narrated by Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu. He said, حضرت عصابة من اليهود نبي الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال لهم. So a group of the Jewish community in Medina came to the Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم, and he said to them, هل تعلمون أن إسرائيل يعقوب? Do you know, since you are Jews, do you know, and you are called the children of Israel, do you know that Israel is Yaqub, the Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam? They said, Allahumma na'am. Yes, of course, we know that he is Yaqub alayhi salam. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم اشهد. Oh Allah, be my witness that I told them and they did admit that Yaqub, their father, is Israel, and Israel is Yaqub, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. And we mentioned last week, why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, Ya Bani Israel, all children of Israel? Why? Anybody remembers? I want to test you.
He's being nice to them.
Yes, reminding them. Yeah. You know? It's like, as I mentioned, that's a beautiful way. And that tells you that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants everybody to be good. You know, Allah does not want to corner anybody. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not want to punish anybody. Allah, God created us, and He wants us to be happy in this life, and to be happy in the day of judgment, and to go to paradise. Allah did not create anybody to punish him or her. We are the ones who choose our way in life. You want to be happy or otherwise? On the day of judgment, you want to be in paradise or, God forbid, otherwise, in hellfire. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen the best way to remind them. Their father, Yaqub alayhi salam, is a great prophet, right? And it's like when you, as we mentioned last week, it's like when you talk to someone, you know his dad or his mom, for example. His parents or her parents are good, polite, educated, generous, nice, decent. And you go to that boy or girl and you tell them, oh, child of the nice people. And you say something to him or her. That means you are, in a nice way, trying to tell him or her, would you please be nice like your parents? Right? If someone, for example, God forbid, is greedy or stingy, and you know that his family has been generous, without telling him, be generous, you are greedy. It doesn't work like this. So you tell him, you know what, I know your family has been very generous and, they take care of others and they are caring and giving and loving, and you're one of them, what do you think about that? So you kind of getting her attention to what he or she is supposed to do and the way he or she is supposed to act. So Allah is saying, Ya Bani Israel, O children of Israel, would you please be like your father, Yaqub? He was a prophet, he was obedient to Allah, he was a good person, be like him. And not only that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because they were away from the straight path. So Allah said another way also to approach people, right? اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم. He's Allah, He's God. He can say that. You know? Can you remember my favors, my blessings, my ni'am that I have bestowed upon you? What are these ni'am? Because Allah was always blessing them and bestowing favors and favors and favors upon them. But unfortunately, they did not appreciate that. They did not take it right. So, for example, in the Quran, we have many examples. Of course, the scholars of tafsir mention many opinions about this. So, the ni'mah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed, for example, is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did to Banu Israel. Allah, when Allah sends down to them al-man wa salwa, for example. Al-man is very delicious food. They said it's honey, right? It's a sweet drink. You know, salwa is a bird, specific type of very delicious bird when you eat them, right? So anyway, it's just an example of some favors that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed upon them. Another blessing, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved them from Fir'aun, Pharaoh, right? Another blessing, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the water, and that's mentioned in many places in the Quran, to come out from the rocks for Bani Israel. فقل نضرب to سيدنا موسى, Prophet Musa, فقل نضرب بعصاك الحجر فانفجرت, in another ayah, فانبجست منه 12 عين. There were 12 groups. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just asked Musa to hit the rock 12 springs from the rock, where they were able to drink and enjoy the water from a rock. Just some examples of the ni'am and favors that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed upon them. Right? Another type of ni'am is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent them prophets and messengers, many of them. Many, especially for them. And they were not nice to the prophets, to the point that they killed the prophets. Right? So, Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, Prophet Musa said, Ya qawm adhkuru ni'mat Allahi alaykum. There's another example of the ni'am. Ya qawmi, O my people, remember the ni'am, the blessings of Allah upon you. إِذْ جَعَلَ فِيكُمْ أَنْبِيَاءَ وَجَعَلَكُمْ مُلُوكًا وَآتَاكُمْ مَا لَمْ يُؤْتِ أَحَدًا مِنَ الْعَالَمِينَ. Allah sent you prophets, made you leaders and kings, and gave you what He hasn't given to anyone at that time. Right? Another type of ni'am. So this is just some examples of the ni'am that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed upon Bani Israel. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Ya Bani Israel, اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم. Remember my blessings upon you. Then the request comes. وَأَوْفُوا بِعَهْدِي أُوفِ بِعَهْدِكُمْ. Right? We have an agreement. You need to fulfill the covenant between you and I, so that I will fulfill my promise and covenant to you or for you as well. What's the covenant? In general, to follow the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? And to follow the deen, the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Islam. Right? Now, also the ahd, the covenant, is also explained in many ways. All take to the same conclusion. For example, in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminded Banu Israel that there will be a prophet, which is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, coming. Right? And you need to believe in him and follow him. Right? That's in the Quran. In the Quran, in the Torah and Bible, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was mentioned and described with many qualities in the Torah and Bible. So they know. And actually, before the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent as a prophet, that community, they used to tell others that there is a prophet coming and will follow him. They thought and they believed that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would come from that community, themselves. Right? So, but when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came from a different place, a different group, which is Mecca and the people of Mecca, they said no way. So Allah is telling them, this is the covenant, this is the ahd, this is the agreement. You know Muhammad by his qualities and characteristics, written, documented in your Torah and Bible. And I told you that he's coming. And you used to tell people that he's coming from us and will follow him and will take over everybody. Now, why didn't you follow Muhammad? So, fulfill that promise so I can fulfill my promise and to forgive your sins and grant you happy life and Jannah and paradise in the day of judgment. This is the ahd. اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم وأوفوا بعهدي أوفي بعهدكم وإياي فارهبون. So, if you look at the beginning of the ayah, and that's the way of the Quran all the time, Allah uses both ways. What we call targheeb, right? To remind, to encourage, right? To help us do it nicely. And tarheeb. Right? Because some people don't listen unless and until, they face the consequences. So Allah said, Ya Bani Israel, targheeb. اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم. Many favors upon you. وأوفوا بعهدي أوفي بعهدكم وإياي فارهبون. You have to keep in mind that you should fear Allah. Why? Because you know what happened to nations and people before you, whether from your own community or other communities. So Allah is able to do a lot. وَإِيَّايَ فَارْهَبُونَ. Fear me alone. Keep in mind that I can do the same thing that I've done to people before you who did not listen, who did not obey, who killed prophets, who did not fulfill the covenant and the promise and the ahd between them and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you see two ways in the same ayah. يا بني إسرائيل اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم وأوفوا بعهدي أوفِ بعهدكم وإياي فارهبون. Now, وآمنوا بما أنزلت. آية number 40. وآمنوا بما أنزلت مصدقا لما معكم. ولا تكونوا أول كافر به. ولا تشتروا بآياتي ثمنا قليلا وإياي فاتقون. Now, Allah is saying, you must believe in what I have sent down. آمنوا بما أنزلت, which is the Quran. Right? The book given to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Not only that, the word مصدقا or the phrase مصدقا لما معكم is so important because the Quran came to confirm what has been mentioned about Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the Torah and Bible. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to them, if you really read, understand, and follow what's in your own books, which the Quran came to confirm, you should follow this prophet because he's the last prophet. So the Quran did not deny what's in your books. The Quran actually confirmed and added to it. In your books, the Prophet Muhammad is mentioned. That he is coming. And actually in some hadith, like the hadith narrated by Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As, when he was asked about what other books like Torah and Bible mention about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet was mentioned in many details in those books. So Allah is saying, you should believe in the Quran that I have sent down, and that Quran came to confirm what's mentioned about Muhammad as a prophet, last prophet and messenger, in your own books. And in your own books, it tells you that you should follow that. Because he's the last one. Right? Now, وَآمِنُوا بِمَا أَنزَلْتُ مُصَدِّقًا لِمَا مَعَكُمْ وَلَا تَكُونُوا أَوَّلَ كَافِرٍ بِهِ. Don't be the first one to disbelieve in it. But the question is, were they the first people to disbelieve? No. They were disbelievers in Mecca. And there are also other disbelievers in Medina itself. So, but what the Quran means by this is that the Jewish community in Medina, they were not in Mecca. So they existed actually in Medina. So the Quran is saying, you are the first one to be addressed this way and reminded about this. So, by you disbelieving in the Quran and in Muhammad as the last prophet and messenger, you're going to be the first one from your own community to be called disbelievers because you did not believe. But we had disbelievers in Mecca, and we still have disbelievers in Medina at that time from other communities. Right? وَلَا تَكُونُوا أَوَّلَ. Don't be the first one to disbelieve in X. So that pronoun, أَوَّلَ كَافِرٍ بِهِ. To disbelieve in what? In Muhammad or in the Quran? Some ulama said it in the Quran. The pronoun refers to the Quran. Some said the pronoun refers to the Prophet. And both are the same. Because if you believe in the Prophet, that means you should believe in the Quran. And if you believe in the Quran, you should believe in the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if someone disbelieved in one, that means he disbelieved in the other one. Make sense? Right? So, وَلَا تَكُونُوا أَوَّلَ كَافِرٍ بِهِ وَلَا تَشْتَرُوا بِآيَاتِي ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا. And here's the deal. وَلَا تَشْتَرُوا بِآيَاتِي ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا. And by the way, before I forget, yes, this ayah, for example, the previous ayah number 4 was revealed, addressing the children of Israel at that time. But does that mean it's only for them? It's for us too. For everybody. Right? So Allah said, remember my favors upon you. We should do. Right? أَوْفُوا بِعَهْدِي أُوفِ بِعَهْدِكُمْ. Fulfill your promise with Allah so that He will fulfill your promise, His promise with you. Applies on us and everybody. Right? وَإِيَّايَ فَاتَّقُونَ. Fear Allah. Of course we have to do. Right? No exception. Right? So it's not about that specific community. It's not about that specific time or place. It's for everybody, everywhere, and anywhere. At all times. So again, as we have been saying many times, that's what we should do. take from these scriptures. The Quran was not, revealed to this group of people at a certain time, and that's it. The message is gone. No, the message will continue, because this is the final of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah said to them, وَلَا تَشْتَرُوا بِآيَاتِي ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا وَإِيَّايَ فَاتَّقُونَ. What does that mean? This community at that time, they had the Torah. And the Torah told them, the truth, which they should follow, to follow the last, message, the message of Islam, the last prophet, the prophet of Islam, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because there is no prophet after him, and he's been mentioned and described in their books. However, they sold it very cheap, as we said. They have the truth. So they did hide and conceal the truth. Right? They sold it for dunya. Why? Because one problem, and we have to keep that in mind, one reason that faced people throughout history who did not want to follow the prophets is power and position. Look at it. You look at it in Mecca, most of the followers of the prophet were poor, slaves, simple people. Yes, few were, okay, like Sayyidina Abu Bakr. But who did not want to follow those in power? Because they know. Because Islam says everybody is the same. Nobody is superior. All people came from Adam. All people, are equal. No one has any superiority over anyone. That means those who have power, they have to come down, humble themselves, sit with Bilal, Suhaib, all those poor, simple people. No. That's the truth. Till today, the hardest thing for everybody is power. And sometimes, subhanAllah, those people that have power, and they were benefiting from it. What's really interesting and gets my attention all the time is that sometimes this power does not really give the person anything, just power, position and fame. And sometimes people fight, subhanAllah, for no reason. They don't want to give up. He's in charge of a country for 40 years. Man, 40 years? SubhanAllah. America is maybe the only country where you can have all presidents sitting next to each other. Right? Like, for example, in the President Bush Union. You had his son, you had Obama, you had Trump. 3 at least, and of course we have our other Carters and all those guys. It's a good sign. It's a healthy thing. So again, we're not here to go political, but the thing is, power is the problem. So they were in power. If you remember the situation of the society of Medina before the migration of Rasulullah, who was in charge? The Jews. Economy, weapons, interest, they are in charge, right? And now you have Al-Aws wal Khazraj fighting with each other. Who supplies them? Same community. Now Muhammad is coming, right? His community taken over, making everybody equal, reconciliate between Al-Aws and Al-Khazraj, no war, they don't have to borrow money with interest, they don't have to buy weapons. It's the same subhanAllah situation like nowadays, almost, right? So now it's power. So they didn't want to say, yes, here is Rasulullah, he's a prophet, our books tell us about him, we should follow him. They sold all this for dunya. They denied the Prophet of Rasulullah. They denied the truth about the Quran, and they bought dunya and life. وَلَا تَشْتَرُوا بِآيَاتِ ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا وَإِيَّايَ فَاتَّقُونَ. Right? That's why that takes us to the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he said, من تعلم علما مما يبتغى به وجه الله لا يتعلمه إلا ليصيب به عرضا من الدنيا لم يرح رائحة الجنة يوم القيامة. لا إله إلا الله. So now, those people have the knowledge of the books revealed to them. And the following ayah will explain that more. They mix the truth in their books with falsehood to confuse people. They concealed the truth, right? So people do not follow others, and they follow them, so they stay in charge and in power, and they gain as much as they can, all for dunya. So the Prophet ﷺ is saying, whoever learns and seeks knowledge, any type of knowledge that should be sought and learned and taught for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but that person does that. He learns and he seeks knowledge just to gain dunya. Those people have the knowledge in the Torah. They conceal it. The Prophet said that person will never smell the smell of paradise. The smell of paradise. Right? A question will be, alright, why sheikhs and imams are higher than sheikh and imams and they have salaries? Good question? Yeah. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لا تشتروا بآياتي, you have the knowledge, and you conceal the knowledge, or you teach the knowledge, both for dunya. Now, if anybody has a beneficial knowledge, especially the Islamic knowledge, Quran for example, can a Quran teacher get a salary for teaching Quran? Yes, no?
Yes.
Huh? What do you guys think? Huh?
You cannot.
Hadiyah means gift? That's a lot of question. That's a fiqh issue right now, discussed by the scholars a long time ago. Did we really have that at the beginning of Islam? Did we have imams hired for money, Quran teachers hired for money, and all that? Huh? And they were on payroll?
No.
Well, the slaves would.
Direct deposit?
No.
No. But how come this happened over time?
Because you're paying for time, not.
Perfect answer. We call this in fiqh habsul waqt. Right? Habsul waqt means you are designating your time, so nobody can pay you for the Quran. You cannot pay. I mean, Quran is so valuable. Right? It is something above anything. So you're not paid for the Quran as the book of Allah. You're just paid because you're doing a job, and we have. First of all, you are assigned this job. You designate your life and time for this, and at the same time, you have to have someone to make adhan, to lead salah, to give khutbahs, to teach Quran, right? So otherwise, nobody will be there. This person has to go somewhere to just work, and you end up no salah, no khutbah, no Quran. So Al-Dr. Prasad said, you're paid for the time, not the actual Islamic knowledge for the Quran. However, and this is the opinion of the Jumhur, the majority of the scholars, Imam Malik, Imam Shafi'i, Imam Ahmad, radiallahu anhu, And they used the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, when he said that the best to reward for, let's say, or compensate for is, or the best thing to be compensated for is the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you remember the story of Al-Ruqya, of the hadith of Abu Sa'id in Surah Al-Fatiha, and gave Ruqya to the man and they got some stuff in return. You know the story of the man who got married because of how much Quran he had. I wish sisters will do that nowadays, but it's okay. Inshallah. The Prophet said, "Zawajtukaha bima ma'aka min al-Quran." Okay, alas, you have some Quran, you know some Quran, this is the dowry. But of course, they were good guys in a way that you can trust, to be honest. So sisters were nice, so nice, and brothers were good too, that you can trust. The Sahaba, of course, I'm joking, but there has to be a dowry, which is a gift from the husband to his wife because she accepted him to be the partner and the husband in her life. So, the same thing. So it's because some people try to explain the dowry in the wrong way. You're not buying the woman, you're actually saying, "Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that you you said yes, and you accepted me to be your husband. So, thank you." This is the dowry. I do. Nothing else. And it's all hers by God. So fathers and mothers don't touch it. Okay? Alright. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is warning Banu Israel, and He said, وَإِيَّايَ فَاتَّقُونَ. He said, fear Allah, reveal the knowledge, share it, tell people about it, tell people that Muhammad is mentioned in your book, the Torah, follow him. Don't mix the truth with falsehood, don't conceal it. That's why the next ayah came and He said, Allah said in ayah 43, وَلَا تَلْبِسُوا الْحَقَّ بِالْبَاطِلِ وَتَكْتُمُوا الْحَقَّ وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. Right? So Allah said you are doing two things. Please don't do it. لَا تَلْبِسُوا الْحَقَّ بِالْبَاطِلِ. Because what they did is that they mixed the haqq, the truth, with falsehood. So people get confused. Or, whenever they got a chance, they used to conceal it. Don't tell people about the truth in their books. This is the truth, as we mentioned many times tonight. They knew. And they used actually to tease people by saying, a prophet is coming from us. And actually they used to say this, we'll follow him and kill him. Okay, follow him and ask you to follow him, or you're going to kill them. Anyway, regardless of this, so they know. Allah said, لا تلبسوا الحق بالباطل وتكتموا الحق وأنتم تعلمون. You know, right? You know the truth. So, please follow the truth and join that community. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ. Submit to Allah. Pray to Allah. Be Muslims. Follow the last Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that you know about him. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ. Pay your charity. وَارْكَعُوا مَعَ الرَّاكِعِينَ. And submit to Allah and bow to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make sujood to Allah. كُونُوا مَعَهُ وَمِنْهُ. Basically, the Quran is saying by all this, by talking about salah and rukur and charity, join this community and follow this prophet and worship Allah overall. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَارْكَعُوا مَعَ الرَّاكِعِينَ. And here comes a very strong ayah, subhanAllah. And we all have to pay attention to this. Because this community they were blamed. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling the new community in the Medina, the new Muslim community, please, here's what they have done. Don't do it like them. And that's for us and everybody too. أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابَ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. So you keep asking people to be good and to be righteous and to do all types of good things, right? And to believe, because they were living among mushrikeen, right? People worship idols. But they were the people of the book, right? So Allah is telling them, how come you keep telling people and asking people to believe and to follow the truth and to do well and to be righteous, and you forget about your own self? You don't do what you actually ask people to do, and you are reciting the book, the Torah, and it tells you to do well. أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ? Don't you think? Where is your brain? It doesn't make sense when we say something and do different. When we ask people to do well and then we do bad. Right? Or don't do anything. That's the problem. أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابَ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Right? And that will take us to another topic which is also important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hates the most anyone or the act when we or anybody says something and acts differently. When you ask people to do well and you go and do bad. So you are contradicting your own self. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blamed them for. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is getting our attention to, not to do this. So, to forbid evil and to enjoy good, it's a must in Islam. It's a must. It's a farida. And by the way, we call it also, it's a farida ghaiba. It's an absent farida in our life nowadays. How many of us try to speak and try to seek a positive change nicely, gently, with all the rules, etiquettes, and laws required to change or to seek a positive change? It became something, subhanAllah, sometimes weird. You know what the Prophet ﷺ said about this? In the hadith of Imam ibn Bashir, he said, the society, any society, is like a group of people in a ship in the ocean. That ship is 2 stories. Some people were in the lower part of the ship and some were on the upper part of the ship. Those who used to live in the lower part of the ship, whenever they needed water, they had to go upstairs, get some water, and go downstairs again. Right? So one day they said, why? Why every time we need water, we have to take the stairs up, get water, and take the stairs down? Why don't we dig a hole in the ship so it's easy for us? Nice idea? Yeah, in the ocean. Yeah, just get some water and that's it. And the Prophet said, if the people on the upper part of the ship let them do it, everybody will sink. The whole ship will sink, right? Water is going to get into the ship and then good luck. But if they stop them, everybody will be saved. This is an example of al-amr bil-ma'ruf wal-nahy anhu. To enjoy good and to forbid evils. Of course, in Islam we have rules for this. I mean, you cannot change any munkar or any evil, and there's levels, and you have to look at, what we call maslaha and mafsada, the benefits of after the change versus the damage that you might cause. You have to be nice, gentle, choose the right place, time, approach, a lot of things involved. But do we have to? I was asking like a few days back, if somebody doing something wrong, do I really have to tell the sister, no, this is haram, this is, something that displeases Allah? I said, yeah, of course you have to be nice and gentle, and, to choose your words and to be loving and caring, because you're not there to score points. You're just because you love, you care. It's like anybody doing anything wrong. Like, for example, somebody trying to use drugs. Okay, he's my friend. He's dear to me. What should I do? If I tell him no, that's going to hurt his feelings. No, I'm going to tell him because I love him. That's the key. I'm not judging him because I do care. And I know the consequences. Or somebody's been there. Or we saw some other cases. People end up dying and in jail and this and that. I do care. I do love. I am not making myself better than him or her in any way, but I do care and love. I know it's not the best thing for him or her. That's the philosophy of this obligation in Islam. We are all in the same ship. Whether we all sink or we all make it to the beach. So we should help each other. Right? So now, if a sister doesn't wear hijab, for example, out of love and care, I will tell her. Of course, with the rules. If she's going to punch him in the face, that's a different story. I'm going to look at that, study. Right? If a brother also is a troublemaker, I have to take care of him. Because the brothers are happy now. I have to get back to them. May Allah protect us from that. Yeah. So, and the Prophet ﷺ said, Islam is all about sincere and good advice. Yes. So we all should do this. And Islam made it so clear that for someone to tell people something and go and do something different, this is really bad in Islam. And it does not make any sense. And there are a lot of warnings and red flags when it comes to this. The Prophet ﷺ said about the scholars, مَثَلُ الْعَالِمِ الَّذِي يُعَلِّمُ النَّاسَ الْخَيْرِ, the example of a scholar, or a shaykh, or a alim, or a mullah, or a teacher, whatever you call him, who's teaching people to do khayr, to do well. وَلَا يَعْمَلُ بِهِ, but he doesn't do it. Brother, please pray 5 times a day, and he doesn't pray for him. Or be nice, and he's not nice. Whatever that is. The Prophet said, this guy doesn't think. Because he's like, السراج يضيء للناس ويحرق نفسه. It's like the what's the best word for siraj? Light, but the old-fashioned lights, like a candle. Yeah, he's spreading khayr, good, light, but he's burning himself. Right? So I tell you pray and I don't pray, I'm burning myself. I'm shooting myself in the foot. Right? The Prophet also ﷺ said, many ahadith, subhanallah. I will mention another one for the sake of time. The Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّ أُنَاسًا مِنْ أَهْلِ الْجَنَّةِ يَطَّلِعُونَ عَلَى أُنَاسٍ مِنْ أَهْلِ النَّارِ. On the Day of Judgment, some people from paradise will look at some people in the hellfire. And they would say, why did you end up in hellfire? فَوَاللَّهِ, we swear by Allah, we swear God, that مَا دَخَلْنَا الْجَنَّةَ إِلَّا بِمَا تَعَلَّمْنَا. Wallahi, we did not enter Jannah except by what you guys have taught us. You asked us to pray, you asked us to fast, you asked us to behave. So we enter Jannah because of what you guys told us. How come you are in hellfire? You used to tell us and teach us. Then they say, Inna kunna naqulu wa la naf'al. We used to say, but we didn't. So it is a must that our sayings, our verbal instructions should and must match what we do. So actions and sayings must be the same. A man came to Abdullah ibn Abbas. You know Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas. And that's important. It's a nice story. This man came and he said, Abdullah ibn Abbas, a great scholar, the cousin of Rasulullah, he said, Ibn Abbas, I want to practice and do the faridah, the fard, the obligation of enjoying good and forbidding evil. I said, okay, are you ready? He said, yeah, I think so. I have the good intention. He said, okay, here's the deal. If you are sure that Allah will not hold you responsible when it comes to 3 verses in the Quran, if you're sure that Allah will not expose you on the day of judgment because of the 3 following verses in the Quran, please go ahead and do it. He said, what are these verses? He said, number 1, Allah said, أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ. Allah said, how come you ask people to be righteous and to do well, while you forget your own self means you didn't do it? Did you take care of that? He said, no. And then the man said, what's the second verse? He said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, لِمَا تَقُولُونَ مَا لَا تَفْعَلُونَ. That's the first ayah of Surah Al-Saf. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لِمَا تَقُولُونَ مَا لَا تَفْعَلُونَ. All you who believe, how come you say something and you do different? When you act different. كَبْرَ مَقْتًا. Allah hates it the most to say something and act differently. Did you take care of that? And he said, no. He said, what's the third ayah? He said, the verse where Shu'aib alayhi salam, the Prophet Shu'aib said to his people, وَمَا أُرِيدُ أَنْ أُخَالِفَكُمْ إِلَى مَا أَنْهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ. That's the adab of the Prophet. He said, Sayyidina Shu'aib, he said to his people, you know what? I am calling you to Allah. I want you to be well, to be good, to be decent, and I also want to make sure that I don't tell you, I don't ask you to do something, and I do the opposite. Did you take care of that? He said, no. He said, just go ahead and take care of yourself first. So there's rules and adab, manners and etiquette when it comes to this. At the same time, it shows hypocrisy as well. When we sometimes fake it and say something and do something different. The Prophet ﷺ also in his journey of Al-Isra and Mi'raj, he said, I passed by some people, their lips, he saw people and their lips are cut with cutters in a knot. And he said to Jibreel alayhi salam, who are they? No? Their punishment was for their lips to be cut into pieces. Then Jibreel alayhi salam said, said, خُطَبَاءُ أُمَّتِكَ مِنْ أَهْلِ الدُّنْيا. The khatibs, the sheikhs, the imams. مِنْ أَهْلِ الدُّنْيا, the speakers basically. The khatib is a speaker. It could be a sheikh, an imam, whatever. مِمَّنْ كَانُوا يَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَيَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَهُمْ وَهُمْ يَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابَ أَفَلَا يَعْقِلُونَ. Same thing like what Banu Israel has done. So those speakers, motivational speakers, whatever you call them, who used to ask people to do well, and they used to act differently or not to do what they used to ask people to do. Right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying to Banu Israel, Here is Islam, here is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, here is a new religion which you know about. It has been mentioned in your books. You know it for sure. First of all, don't conceal. Second of all, don't mix with the falsehood. Third of all, yeah, you are the people of the book. You are following a prophet and you have a book and you know the truth and you're asking people to believe while you don't. Your own book is asking you to believe in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that's the ahd and the covenant between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why Islam instructs his followers to be themselves and to be genuine and not to fake it and not to be hypocrites. Just do it and do it right. I like Nike when they say do it, but we have to do it right too. Right? So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant all of us ikhlas. I was hoping to go more, but as usual the Isha time is not enough for us. Inshallah Azza wa Jal, we continue. We stopped here at ayah number 44. Inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala next time we continue inshallah the hadith and the instructions to Banu Israel, which also are instructions for us as well at some point or to some extent or high extent. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us all to follow the truth and to act upon it. Allahumma ameen. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.